I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Man, oh man, we are back for another week of AfterBuzz TV presents Insecure. I cannot believe it is week 4 of Insecure, and I also cannot believe I haven't left my house in all of that time. And this is AfterBuzz TV presents Insecure, and I have 3 amazing co-hosts with me today, and I'd like to kick it to Carla, who I just discovered is an actual superstar on Broadway. So Carla, please give them the receipts. Tell them who you really are.
I don't know about superstar, but I've been on the Great White Way a few times, but I am the curvy critic, aka Carla Renata, and I am here to talk all things Insecure, baby. You can check my show out at BHL, the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata on Sundays, and I'm gonna throw it to my girl Mia.
What's up? Thank you, Carla. Hi, everybody. I'm Mia. Of course, I love Insecure. I love Issa Rae. Been following her since Awkward Black Girl on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, I actually was going through all of our comments, y'all, last week that everybody's been leaving. And I just have to say, keep doing it. It is so funny. I love seeing all your opinions. Someone said, I think it was Miss GCF said that Molly, her prediction is that Molly's pregnant. I was like, ooh, girl, we got to find out. And then Kenneth donated to support Black media, so that was awesome. And then also Kayla called Condola Miss Canola Oil, and let me tell you, I was dying laughing. This week I made Chrissy Teigen's banana bread, and all I could think of was that comment. I was using canola oil, and I was like, Miss Canola. So thank you guys. Keep commenting.
Absolutely.
All right, and I'll
Ware, tell us about you.
yes. I am Kenneth Ware, representing Kinfolk. I'm from H-Town, out here in LA, quarantined solo, dolo, by my lonesome. Like, having a good time, enjoying it. Got shows like Insecure to watch. So, Team Lawrence, what's up?
Absolutely. Now, as we mentioned, we love to read all of the comments. We like to talk on Twitter and all that jazz. I love to read the YouTube comments, and Kenneth will be overseeing all of our social media during our live chat. So Kenneth, you have the live chat open and people are in there and whatnot?
Yes. I'm checking out the live chat right now. So make sure you hop in. Let us know what you thought about the latest episode and our comments. Holla at us.
Absolutely. Now, I just have a tradition. I actually have to shout out names, people who commented in the YouTube. There are a lot of people. So give me like a smooth 60 to 90 seconds because it was lit. It was super lit. Felicia, be happy. Thank you so much. The Curvy Critic, you were in there. And Mia, you were in there, of course. Lovable Nikki, Miss GCF, T. Berlon. I'd like to say thank you to Megan, Kai, much needed, Trini Boy 27, a longtime supporter. We love Trini Boy 27. Nicole Benford, Jamie Reddick, Nicole Benford again. Let's see who else we have. Lovable Nikki, Sasha Bellinger, who had a very strong opinion about women not building men up. And I have to say, I do agree with you, Sasha. She said, a woman shouldn't be building a man up. A man needs to build his own self up. So I do agree with you on that one. Thank you for leaving that comment. What FC, big ups to you. Jumping in there in the chat, Cynthia Lucas, Donnie Ray, thank you so much. I haven't seen Donnie Ray before, so thank you for joining. Chrissy 0292, thank you so much. Danielle Harris, thank you as well. Chioma Obin, thank you. And let's see, Kamala Dixon, thank you for joining us. And Aranda Bell, thank you for joining us in the YouTube chat. Like I said, last week was pretty lit, and you guys were making some amazing points about everything, and including some things that we didn't even see. And Molly being pregnant, maybe, I don't know, only time will tell. But first things first, let me just get a real quick round robin. Did we like or did we dislike this week's episode? It can be one word. Kenneth, go.
Miscommunication.
Okay.
Messy.
Oh, okay. Carla, you said messy. And Mia, what's your word?
Juicy.
Okay, I like that. I would say this episode was awkward. I can't stress it enough. It just continues to be, in my opinion, kind of awkward and that's what it's supposed to be right now. They are working through awkward conversations and situations. It's just awkward. It's starting to become painful. But to all the fellas out there, in the words of Derek, if you did some dirt before, just know when you have a daughter, somebody's going to try to finger F her. Yeah, that was my takeaway. Don't do
What
dirt,
she
fellas.
said.
Dirt. Don't do dirt. So
That's the takeaway. That's the takeaway from that entire episode. That's the entire takeaway. Okay.
so, and one day you'll have a daughter, and somebody will try to finger F her. Yeah. So let's get away from the awkwardness, shall we? I just want to go around and just start the debate, because there were a few things that happened during this episode and a few relationships that we have to keep addressing. First things first, Issa clearly doesn't have a good relationship with whoever is helping her book talent, because Issa's headliner has officially dropped from their block party. Was anybody? Let's just get some reaction about the fact that Issa is now in this pickle. How did she get there? Why would the headliner drop out? We do have some info from Molly and some good insights from Molly about why they could have dropped out. But is this a reflection on Issa, or is this just happenstance? It happens, you know. Kenneth, I'll let you take it away.
I say that it pretty much happens a lot in LA, especially when you're planning events. And Issa has been known to not be the best planner and has a lot of disorganization in her life. So I don't know. I didn't really think about it at first until Molly hit her with those lawyer questions, like, well, did they void the contract and all of these things? So it would be nice to know why, like, they pulled out, but it possibly could have been Issa's fault. Issa got a lot going on. It could have been her fault.
Absolutely. Anybody else have some feedback on why you think the headliner dropped out?
I feel like she was spinning a lot of plates. You know what I mean? She's trying to navigate her relationship with Molly. She's trying to navigate her relationship with Lawrence. She's trying to navigate her relationship with Condola. She's trying to plan the block party. She's trying to secure this over here, secure that over there. And, you know, the ball just drops sometimes. It's just too bad that was a big one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mia, you have anything to add to that? Schoolboy Q, who I'm not supporting Schoolboy Q anymore. I used to download his music. Never again, because you dropped the ball. No.
I was gonna say true. I was like, who? Oh yeah, true. So I don't know. I just feel like it could have been Issa's fault, but for me, it was more about, it was interesting what Molly had to say. Every interaction they have now, I'm like, am I reading into this? Are they reading into each other? I don't know, just because like what she had to say, she couldn't even console her. Like Molly couldn't even say, Issa, I'm so sorry. She immediately went to like, what did she do? Did you do this? Did they do this? And I just feel like I guess Molly knows Issa better than anyone, so she knows it was probably Issa's fault in some way. But I'm like, damn, you could have just been there for her. I don't know. I had mixed feelings about the whole thing. I don't know whose fault it was.
We got to give Issa some credit, right? Issa's trying to clean up this mess, but you know, she does have a business partner named Condola, and she was nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. I'm confused. Okay, I know Condola and Lawrence had their little, you know, interaction the last episode, and I know things are awkward, but you still have business to attend to. And Condola always struck me as about her business. And as we discovered in the beginning of this episode, she is now MIA, you know, for some of the really important things that need to happen to continue this block party. From my understanding and from what the show was able to show, she was able to send over, I think, the new flyers. Like she did help with the flyers, but she wasn't really communicating on the phone. She wasn't calling Issa back. So it just seems like she's kind of MIA. Does anyone have any feedback about why she might be taking this approach? Kenneth, your finger went right up. I'm gonna point to
yes, I have to put up the church finger because I'm about to testify. Like, this is why you do not do business with people that are involved so closely with your ex. Like, as soon as she found out that Lawrence and Condola were involved, like it was, you just knew, like, you know what? This is not, I'm planning my block party. I'm about my business. And you know what, Condola, we may have had some great chemistry, you know, and things might have been working, but you know what? This ain't gonna work because you over there with Lawrence and it's getting sticky. So keep that separate. So Condola had it out with Lawrence and then left her on red. And Lawrence wanted to tell her something, which I don't know what that is, but it's just like, it's a sticky situation, but you know, she should have stopped it. Like, you know what? Good businesswoman, but nah, I can't do it.
Wow. Well, look, say it louder for the people in the back. Say it louder for the back. Carla or Mia, do you have any idea about what, number one, why Condola's in her feelings to that level to where she would just, I mean, I get it. That's her, that, Issa and Lawrence have history and I get it's awkward, but like, is there something else that we're missing?
I think that Lawrence and her had a conversation, and I think maybe we'll see how that panned out, but one of them said, you cannot work any further with Issa. I don't know if it's Lawrence or Condola, but I don't know. Also don't know if my timing is right, because I know it is like a month away. I don't know. I don't even know right now, but I'm just kind of like, I think they might have said something to each other. And I think that's what Lawrence was going to tell Issa. But at first I thought he was going to say me and Condola broke up, because the way they were flirting, when he nodded her over and he said, let's go outside, I was like, okay. And then they were all cheery and happy. But then when she came back that second time after the phone call, I was like, I don't know. He might not want to say anything anymore, because he might have told, hey, like, you and Condola can work together. I don't know. What do you think, Carla?
Yeah, before I kick it to Carla, I just want to just make mention. Lawrence and Issa were outside of Tiffany and Derek's house having a conversation that wasn't about, anything at first, but then it kind of turned to what we think is about Condola. So Carla, please share.
I think that he was about to tell her that they broke up, and probably wanted to know if she had heard from her. But remember, when we first started the season, we saw her show up at the block party. So there's a huge block of conversation that I'm sure we're going to be privy to in the next couple of episodes, because they did show that she showed up. So I don't know if they had a conversation about it and decided to just get through it, until it was over, or if her and Lawrence kind of like made up. Like, we don't know what went down, but I'm almost positive that he probably broke up with her, and that's why she was all up in her feelings and didn't hit her back when she was texting her about, where you at, I need this from you, I need that from you, and she was ghosting her. So that's what I think happened.
Carla, this is why you're a star on Broadway, because I totally forgot about the flash forward scene at the beginning of this season. That's really insightful. Wow, I didn't think about that. Well, only time will tell. We'll definitely figure this out. Real quick, do any of you guys have little cousins or anybody that's talented? Because Issa needs some help, just out of curiosity. Carla, I know your book, so if you guys know anybody, please hit up Issa. She went to such lengths. She tried to hit up Beyonce. She tried to hit up everybody in the DM. She tried to slide in everybody's DM. Have any of you guys ever slid into the DM of somebody like really, really, really famous and actually got a DM back? Kenneth, who hit you?
So I slid into Solange's DMs long before a seat at the table when she was a DJ, when she was back DJing, because I wanted to cover it for college for my school newspaper. So she hit me with the password, and actually the password for the party was Walt Disney, and she DJ'd and I interviewed her for the school newspaper. So that was a successful DM.
Wow. Anybody else had some like mind-blowing successful DMs?
No. Yeah, I'm with Carla. I'm like,
Carla's like, I ain't nothing. One that was recent that I'm hopeful we can make this all happen. The young man that plays Amal on Insecure, I hit him up in a DM, and so we're gonna chat more about having him join us. So at least he hit me back. I'm excited. People usually don't hit me back. They don't think I'm cool. I don't either. But let's move on to a total side note that I had last week, but I do think it's very important to talk about. Tiffany and Derek's little future AKA is finally here. And as an AKA, I was very excited to see her little hat. That was cute. But, they had everybody over at the house helping out with the new baby. But it just seems like, and Derek kind of alluded to the fact that this is all happening a little ahead of schedule. Do you guys foresee anything happening with them, or what are your takes on how they're handling parenthood right now? Because I'll just give my opinion real quick. I think Tiffany is not ready for parenthood, and I think that Derek is ready for reality and what's going to come with it. And I think Tiffany is going to kind of like shrink under pressure, if you will. Anybody else have any reactions to how they were dealing with parenthood? Carla, you did a church finger. I'm gonna let you go.
So this is what I have to say about that. I don't think either one of them are ready, but who is ready to be a mother or a father? There's not an instruction booklet that comes with it. The baby comes and, there are suggestions of how to do different things, but, it's your baby. It has your personality. So, or a combo of your personality, there's that. And then I really love the fact that they spoke to how Black women in particular, get a severe lack of health care when they're pregnant, and how Black women in general, when it comes to health care, you always got to get a second and third opinion, right? And that's just, it's like, why can't I just go to the doctor, tell them what's wrong, and they address it? Same thing with Tiffany. Tiffany's like, why can't I just go and say, this is how I'm feeling, this is what's going on, and they address it? No. When they say something that is not to your satisfaction, then you got to go to the second person, you got to go to the third person. And I almost feel like they do that to like keep getting that insurance money. Like, for example, even during this pandemic, I had a plethora of doctor's appointments, right? Why were all my doctors talking about, do you want to reschedule? I'm like, nigga, to when? Like, when am I supposed to reschedule to? Like, really? We don't know when this is over. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to have a colonoscopy through the web, through the Zoom? I'm just saying. That's all I gotta say about that.
They do it on the, what's that new website where everybody shows their privates for subscriptions?
OnlyFans? Is that you refer to OnlyFans?
For your
And it's news so quick.
I mean, no. I heard about it.
Carla,
I said a colonoscopy, y'all, not porn. What y'all talking about?
Carla, if you don't bust it wide open and show that colon, stop playing, Carla. Dang.
Oh,
Okay, I gotta move on. We gotta get serious, you guys. They don't want us on here all day running around. All right, Carla, trying to OnlyFans. Broadway needs to reopen. She needs. Okay, she's trying to bust open her colon on OnlyFans.
Why y'all?
Hey.
Y'all are wrong. Y'all took that to a whole nother level.
You started it, and we just brought it up. We elevated it.
No, I rebuke thee.
I will say, I have one more thing to say about the baby, actually, and how I think Tiffany and her husband are handling it. But first of all, I think that conversation was weird. I mean, it was real, but I don't know. Maybe that's just Derek's sense of humor, but I was kind of like, damn, this is kind of rude. I mean, there's a way to address reality, but it seemed like he really didn't want to be a dad. I don't know. That's the feeling I got from it. Because I like the truth. Like, speak your truth, you know? But he was getting real with Lawrence. But I have to say, this is what I found interesting. If we really do think Lawrence and Condola broke up, the way Lawrence reacted to that whole scene with Derek, did anybody see that shot when it pulled back on Derek and Lawrence was just kind of like looking off and he looked all sad? I was like, why is this? Because he saw a future with Condola and they're not together anymore? Was he thinking about Issa? Was he just thinking about his future? I don't know. But I was just wanted to know if anybody caught that, because I thought that was weird.
I didn't catch it, but you know, I miss everything. So
Same. I can't believe I did catch it.
Wait. I just want to say one more thing. I think to piggyback on what Mia said, I don't think that he doesn't want to be a dad. I just don't think he want to be a daddy to a girl, because he had that whole soliloquy about being a dad to a girl. I think if he had had a son, it'd be a whole nother conversation.
That's a conversation in itself. We'll save that for next episode.
Yeah.
Not to give too much pub and promo to other folks, but you know, DJ MV, Charlemagne the God, Angela Yee from the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne always talks about how it's the player's curse when guys have girls. So you know, like you said, he did a lot of before he met Tiffany. So it's probably just the player's curse. But we got to move on to the next relationship and kind of exploration from this episode. So let's get into Molly and Andrew, aka Asian Bae. Molly is just working too much, you guys. Now, does Andrew have a right to be in his feelings, or is he just, you know, is he overreacting? But here's the thing, and this is one thing I want to add. Andrew has a grown job. He works for Live Nation, right? So he's got a pretty demanding schedule too. And it seems like he's able to balance it a little bit better. I don't know. So what was your guys' takeaway from some of the hiccups that were occurring between Andrew and Molly in the schedule?
Well,
Church finger goes.
Did she pass it? Church finger passed the church finger to me?
No, church finger. Carla.
Okay. Really quick. I feel like he was right to be up in his feelings. It's really rude when somebody comes over to visit you and you're like, I'm so sorry, I got a little bit of work to do. Just give me a minute, and a minute turns into 2:00 in the morning. That's rude. So yeah, he had every right to have an attitude.
Fair. Anybody else?
I would say he's dating a lawyer. You're not dating a school teacher. So somebody who's dated a lawyer know that, you know, that's a lot of time with that. And second, I appreciate that Molly, even though she looked at that clock and it was 1:42, she might have been tired. She got in their bed and they still made it happen. So it's a little compromise. They're gonna make it work. So they still got it on. He just had a
On her
nap
clock,
before.
though. On her clock. I said everything revolves around
Right.
you, Molly. Dang.
Right. But she finished her work and then she gave it to him.
Mia, you
Guys, he was asleep. She interrupted. I was mad. But I will say this, because you guys know how I feel about Molly. But I think I was kind of on her side by the end of the episode as far as everything with Andrew, because this is the thing. Like, she could be a better communicator. She could say, you know, like, I might have work later this evening before he comes over, right? But for him on a date night to be like, well, I'm hanging with my friends after this because you're always busy. Like, nah. You cannot combine two separate issues. If you had a problem with her working when you come over late all the time, you should say that. You shouldn't just schedule stuff with your friends. That's kind of passive. And I feel like he does this sometimes. Like he's done this in previous episodes too, when they're at the table and he didn't want to dig deep. And then, you know, I just feel like he's cool with everything and he lets it slide, but then he'll passively do something. I'm like, that's not how you communicate either. So, I mean, he's better than Molly, but I just gotta give it to her. I gotta give her credit where it's due. I don't know.
Absolutely. Now, I think that Molly, this is just my opinion on what's going on with Molly. I think that Molly's kind of feeling the peer pressure with her colleagues and whatnot, because they're staying late, they're working, and they have families, they have commitments, they have boo things and side pieces and whatnot, and they're staying late and trying to work. But my opinion of this is, especially early on in relationships, and he said, total side note, Andrew said, we're through the honeymoon stage. How, Sway? They've only been together for like a month or two. I feel like the honeymoon stage lasts for a little bit longer than that. So if you are done with the honeymoon stage in month 2, like that's not a good sign to me, but that's just me. But anyways, I say all of that to say, if you're going to be serious about a relationship, you have to be willing to put that first. And if you can't block off time, if you can't schedule, if you can't tell your work, hey, I can't work this weekend, maybe this is not a good time for you to be in a relationship. And it's not a negative, but I think Molly needs to be real with herself too. And if she's going to make this happen, you have to be willing to sacrifice a few months of being less productive at work, or maybe just managing your time better. I think that's a better way to put it. Molly needs to learn to manage her time better to make this work. It's not fair to Andrew. But Kenneth, I feel like you had something you wanted to add.
Oh, no, that was it. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. They said that we are hilarious because we were busting it. Shout out to Tamika Francis, Karina, and Mindful J. Just wanted to shout out to some of those people.
Absolutely. And you guys, Carla does not have an OnlyFans page. Carla is distinguished. She's not busting it open on OnlyFans. I was just joking. It was merely a joke. See? Never. So let's move on from Andrew and Molly. So side note, blast from the past. Issa got a phone call from Nathan. He said, you don't have to call me back, but I heard you're doing big things. I'll leave that for the later part of the predictions, but I just want to make a note that there is a blast from the past that popped back up. But up next, another relationship we have to explore, of course, Lawrence and Issa. So let's go back real quick. Lawrence and Condola had the conversation. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if they broke up. But when Kelly and Issa were having the conversation at Tiffany's house, and Kelly's looking at Lawrence like he's a ham sandwich. I mean, she was like, look at him, just gainfully employed, looking good. Did you guys think that was making Issa's like wheels turn? Like, yeah, Lawrence is a good catch. Like, what did you guys feel from Issa's reaction during that soliloquy, if you will, from Kelly?
Her wheels were already turning well before that. I think she's been thinking about it, but I don't know. I think they just have a thing. It's just so clear. And I think their chemistry is real. And I think everybody picks up on it. I think that's kind of maybe why she was saying it, but I don't know.
Anybody else?
I would say,
go ahead.
That she was up to, like you said, he was looking like a provider. I feel like Issa has been on it, and she kind of built him up and was there at his lowest, and and to see him doing so well, like she's proud of him. Even when she told Lawrence that the headliner had canceled, I mean, he was genuinely like, oh man, because he knows that this is something that she's been working towards. So I think it's kind of like, she's looking at him like, wow, he is a provider. Like, I miss that. So
I don't think she missed him being a provider. She might miss him because he wasn't providing nothing when they was together. So there's that.
How you gonna miss something you had? Ain't never.
I'm just gonna call a spade, but I agree with everything that Mia and Ken said. I don't have anything else to add to it except that last little part.
Hold on, let it be known. 3 years he was working. He was trying to find a job for 2. Now we gonna scratch them too. Not saying they don't count, but we're not gonna act like he was just a bum.
I didn't say he was a bum.
bum.
I say he was a bum.
Only a bum.
He provided a little bit what he could.
I didn't say he was a bum. I said he was. The last couple of lean years, he was a semi bum. He was a semi bum looking for a gig. That's what I'm gonna say. But we all in agreement, so we gonna all agree and move on to the next subject. What's up, McCall?
Now, let's say this. I'm gonna settle the score. All right.
With their glass.
It's a sparkling water. It's not about how long, but there's an old song. Was it Janet Jackson that sang this song? What have you done for me
lately? Boom. What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah.
Exactly. Now you working for 3 years, that's cute. But then up for 2 at the tail end, and I'm still trying to get my credit straight. What have you done for me lately, Kenneth Ware?
Okay, so I'm not sticking up for his bum activities. Let me make this clear. I do not support bum activity, especially living in Los Angeles, because there are a lot of bums living in Los Angeles on couches. However, he's not a bum. Like, I'm not gonna put him at the bottom of bums. Like, he's doing his thing and he's getting it together. So
there's tears to bum. I didn't know this, but there are tears to being a bum. But that's dope.
Bum or bum.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Kenneth, I try to stay bum, whether it's tier 1 or tier 4.
Yes. No, we don't want any tier bombs.
But thank you for that. So let's move on to the next relationship. We've all been waiting to get into this, and I feel like this is going to take us a long time to unpack because there's a lot of things going on. Issa and Molly, this is getting to the point where, like, when you're a parent and you got 2 little kids fighting, you just want to just physically separate them. I'm at that point where every time I see them on the screen at the same time, I want to grab them and just separate them. This episode, let's off top, Issa or Molly? I'm gonna go around the horn. Who failed the other person more in this episode? Take out all the other stuff, but just this episode. Who was the bigger violator of the friendship in the union, Issa or Molly? Carla, you first.
Issa, when she asked her for that favor when she asked Molly to ask for a favor during pillow talk, that was like a gross abuse of the friendship. So yeah, and actually it was kind of equal, but that was the worst one.
Okay, 1 vote for Issa. Mia?
This is hard for me.
No,
but Issa.
Kenneth?
Issa.
Yeah, I agree. This is probably the first time we have all agreed at the same time. It's wonderful, right? But Issa's foul. Issa's beyond foul. And you know who else is tired of Issa's? SHIT, I almost said the word. Her mirror buddy. Mirror Issa's tired of her too. Everybody, we can't help you no more, girl. But here's what I take away from Issa. Issa is tunnel vision. And I have been in Issa's place where it's like, you got something to do. You have no time for the nonsense. You got a deadline on your neck. And like, you're just trying to get it done. And in that moment where you're just trying to get it done, you end up hurting other people's feelings. You look like a jerk. You just become tone deaf. And that's what Issa's dealing with right now. She's absolutely tone deaf. She has no concept of humanity. Issa, once she gets through this, I think she'll be a better friend. But to everybody's point, Issa was clearly in the wrong, but I do think that friends have to be forgiving in these kind of situations when your friend has a lot coming at them. But let's stop with all that. I want to go around the horn and just any takeaways from what you picked up from their interactions in this episode. Kenneth?
I would just say still just a lot of miscommunication, but like Miss Kirby Critic said, that was my pillow talk is my time for my pillow talk. I'm not going to be doing favors for my friends during my pillow talk, and I would not ask my friends to do that. That's very foul. I wasn't feeling that. And then she kind of got an attitude about it, like, well, why and this and that. And it's like, you have to first let me know this is a business deal. She's asking her to ask her man to do business. And we don't even know why schoolboy Q, dropped out. Like, if it was her fault, like, you doing too much. So, but a lot of miscommunication.
See, I don't think it's miscommunication. I think this episode has purely been avoidance. And at this point, I was just getting mad at both of them. They need to both take responsibility, because it becomes a problem the minute you're talking to your friends and asking, you think are they being weird towards me? And you can't ask each other. That's, to me, when it's an issue, and when you're just avoiding it altogether. And I don't know, I just feel like they're calling each other to ask, like Issa's asking favors. And then when she says, hey girl, Molly starts talking about her week, like, no, y'all know you got stuff to talk about right now. And you're just pretending like it's not happening. Like, that's why it keeps building up and piling on top of each other. You should just address it. So I just think at this point they're avoiding their feelings, because they know, like, everyone I feel like has been in these sorts of fights with their friends, where when you address it, you also have to address yourself. And they're going to have to address their own behavior in this. Like, Issa's at fault. Molly's at fault. Issa is going back to, like, her old boo, like Lawrence. Like, Molly doesn't like how she's acting with him. So you're facing yourself when you go to your friends about some of these fights. And so I think they're just avoiding not only each other, but themselves too.
I feel like with the two of them, they're at an impasse. And there's one line that Molly said when they were talking about self-care Sundays, when she said Sundays aren't serving us anymore. The relationship isn't serving them anymore. It was almost like a metaphor for what was going on in their relationship. And then it also begs this question: what do you do when your best friend starts to choose her man over you? Because that's what happened in this episode. And that's why everybody was all up in their feelings. That's why Issa was mad. That's why Molly was mad. Everybody had attitude. Like, what do you do when your best friend chooses your man over you? What do you do when your best friend has a baby and now their life becomes all about the baby? It's a lot of things going on.
So I want to just comment on that. And Carla, that's a great point. What do you do in that point? You have to learn how to balance. But one thing I thought Issa really dropped the ball and failed, because she could have got what she wanted. And I think this is Issa's problem. It's always been her problem. And this has always been my issue with Issa. She's not very business savvy. So you want something, you need something. You know that Molly's boyfriend works for Live Nation. You got to find somebody to headline, and he has a plug. This is where you have to kind of like fake like you care, right? So when you call, how are you? How you doing? Oh, really? You want me to bring you some? You got to warm them up and disarm them. And she didn't do that at all. She just went straight for like, this is what I got going on. But if you're trying to butter somebody up, and this is LA, we've all been in LA, you know how you get favors in LA. Sometimes you have to fake like you care. And we're all guilty of it. I'm not going to be out here on a limb by myself. You guys all know you do it. That is a part of the game. And I think this is one of the big things that Issa's going to have to learn, because what she's trying to do is really a business of relationships. Entertainment, sports, things like that. Those are businesses that are based on relationships. Most businesses are. She's not understanding that sometimes you have to fake it to get what you want. And she didn't do that at all. So the next thing I do want to bring up, though, is the fact that for Issa to ask Molly anything about Andrew, right? I don't know when have they actually had an update about like where they're at? Because I feel like when they were sitting at Tiffany's house and Molly's kind of sharing about how wonderful things are, Issa tried to play that off and tried to make it like, oh, you're just, red table talk and you're just pie in the sky, when she was really trying to say like, I'm happy. And Issa did not receive it. She didn't hear it. She didn't understand what Molly was even trying to express. What did you guys think about, Issa's dismissal of Molly kind of being open at Tiffany's house?
See, I actually thought, and I might be wrong, I actually thought that Molly was kind of making a dig a little. And I feel like it was like, it could have been two things when she said, that's how a real relationship works. I don't know if she was talking about Issa and her past relationships, or if she was talking about them, like communication, like, why aren't we communicating? I couldn't tell, but I feel like Issa was kind of like, that was her clap back, the red table talk comment. Cause I feel like Molly made the dig first. Molly always makes the digs first. So that's what I got from it.
even think about that. I thought she was just speaking, matter of factly, but that's a good,
I wanted that from her so badly, but I don't know.
Carla, you thought that Molly was throwing shade first?
They were both throwing shade. I mean, when Issa said, "Okay, Jada, you better do the red table talk or whatever," and then Molly got all up in her feelings about it. And then when Molly saw Issa talking to Lawrence, she was like, "Look at her doing the same." She say, "I'm messy." She doing the same old thing. Like it's like Mia was saying earlier. They have this issue that they keep walking over, that they keep passively aggressively dealing with, when they really just need to talk to each other instead of talking about everybody else, about what's going on with them, because it's not going to get resolved by talking to Tiffany or Kelly or Lawrence or Derek or anybody else. It's only going to get resolved that they talk to each other.
And what the hell is Issa not understanding about Molly's questions? Molly's asking you things to help her better prepare herself to help you, right? Like my one of my old professors used to say, know your audience, right? You need to know your audience. You know that she's an attorney. Attorneys are inquisitive by nature. They need all the facts to help you. So why not lay it out for her so she can actually help you out? That was just dumb to me. And Issa's,
but it was the attitude. It wasn't what she said. It was how she said it. It wasn't the information she was disseminating. It was the way she was disseminating the information. When this is somebody that you used to key and laying in the cut with and just like, doing your thing, and you are the two people that are ragging on everybody else, and now y'all are ragging on each other, that's a whole different dynamic.
True. Now, this is what I will say. I keep harping on this. We all live in LA. We all have a bunch of different friends. And, for what I do, my main job, I get phone calls all the time, people wanting favors and stuff like that. I do want to just get everybody's opinion on what are some best practices to like not ruining friendships when you have you're friends with people who work in high places or have certain kinds of jobs. Is there any kind of like best practices or advice that you can give to our audience about how to balance that so you don't look and feel like a user, and how you can make sure your friendship remains authentic? Anybody have any experience with that?
It's like you said before, McCall, know your audience. It's like your professor told you, know your audience. We all have a lot of friends, right? But we don't treat this friend over here on the left the same way we treat that friend over there on the right, regardless of what their place is in life, right? So I have a lot of friends that are very well known, for example. I would never call any of them and ask them for a favor, because I just don't want our relationship to be redefined in that manner, right? I know some people that wouldn't care. They would do that in a heartbeat and wouldn't think twice about it. But those people are known for being those people. If you're known for being one thing and then you come out of a trick bag acting some other kind of way, then people start looking at you like this with one eye open, like, and they start feeling some kind of way about you. And then all of a sudden it changes the dynamic of the friendship or the business relationship. So I just think you got to know who you're dealing with before you do stuff like that.
Thank you. That's good. That's really good. Anybody else have any best practices or advice? Because I feel like this is going to continue to come up.
I would say with the way that Issa handled this, I've done business with people, with friends in LA, and I would say the best thing that Issa could have done was like, you know what, let me send you over a pitch deck about the block party to share with Andrew versus, hey, can you figure out, can he do this for me? Like, no, show me the pitch deck. What you got? Let me give him something to show my man what's going on before he, tries to put you on. So, hey, have your stuff together. That's what I would say. That's the best business practice. Know your audience and then have your stuff ready to go.
I would say I think it depends on three things: your relationship, the risk, and then if it's realistic. Because I think how you ask, like I actually would say with the Issa and Molly situation, I don't think Issa necessarily had to butter her up. Like if it's your friend, if it's your girl, I think you have like that one pass card where you could just be like, girl, I need your help. But they weren't in the place. Like Issa should have never asked her because they weren't in a place where she could ask for help. But I think if it's somebody you know your acquaintances, if you're like, all right, I can risk like them not liking me because I asked them for a favor, like that's fine. I think you can go ahead and ask. But it all comes down to like, is it realistic? What you're asking, can they do it? Is it a lot of work for them? And how close are you? Because you don't want to put your friends, like Carla said, you want to put your close friends through something like that. But you just never know. I guess you don't if you don't ask, you don't know, but you just have to weigh all the risk behind it.
Well, here's my takeaway on why and what you shouldn't do, right? Issa's asking for a favor for Andrew. Have you ever sat down with Andrew and just asked him, hey, tell me what a typical day is for you? You're going to ask a favor for him, but you've never engaged in business conversation with him before, but yet you want Molly to ask? Hell, you don't know what the hell they're talking about day in and day out, but you want me to make a business request and I've never talked business with him? I almost said something messed up, but no, that's not going to work. But anyways, I know we are obviously running short on time again. We try to make this as, compact as possible, but we like each other. We can't help that we talk. But Mia every week has an awesome segment for us that really kind of just mixes it up. So I'm going to let Mia take over.
All right, everybody, it is time for low key, high key. Okay, so we play this game called low key, high key. Clearly ask a question that deals with the situation in the show, and we answer, and we just kind of debate the situation, whether we would do it, we wouldn't, that sort of thing. So this week, confiding in a mutual friend about an issue you have with another friend in that group. So Issa talking to Kelly about Molly, Molly talking to Tiffany about Issa. Do we think this is high key cool, like it's cool, you can ask, or low key, not okay? Do not talk about your friendship with somebody else. What do we think?
It's high key cool and it happens. Yeah.
I'm in the middle on that because it happens. It depends on the friendship, but I'll say it's cool. But if it's your bestie and some other stuff, not cool.
I say low key. You just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, I think it depends on how close you are and how serious the issue is. Don't be going and talking about your friends all the time to each other. But if it's serious, I think you can ask a little something, something. Because chances are they probably already talked about it too. They're probably asking as well. So just depends.
Touche. Now, very big week, but I'm gonna let Carla tell you about it. Can we get a little music for news?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Cool. Well, baby, the biggest news that hit the internet waves in general is that what? Insecure got picked up for what? Season 5, baby. Season 5. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yes.
Season 5. Hey. Yes. We're very excited about that. Oh, and then I wanted to tell you one other little thing. Molly's little brother in the Thanksgiving episode, little brother was Little Saint in the You Got Served film. Hey, did y'all know that? Boom.
No.
Got a little something on you. Hey, boom.
I
There
love
you
it.
go. There you go.
Never served, but I will watch it now.
You've got to see it.
So Carla, thank you so much for that news. Yes, Insecure is coming back for a 5th season on HBO. We don't know how many episodes, but we know we'll be back next season to cover it yet again. So I want to get to our predictions. Can I get a little prediction music?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. I like the music. So Kenneth, Ware, I'll let you kick off our predictions going into week 5.
Predictions, we'll see some more hurdles with this block party, but Issa is going to continue striding.
Mia?
I think that Lawrence is going to go to Issa and tell her whatever he was going to tell her. Maybe that him and Condola broke up. And then I think we're going to see more of Issa talking to herself in the mirror because it's not like she can talk to Molly about her problems. So I hope to see more of that. I love those scenes.
And hopefully we'll see Issa pay them bills around that property so that her cohorts don't come storming in her apartment looking like magicians.
Right. And I actually think that we're going to see Wendy Raquel Robinson come back this season to counsel Issa on how to deal with friendships. I think that she's going to go back to her mom. She's going to get some motherly advice. That's my prediction. It's very random. So in between now and next week, you guys know where you can find us on AfterBuzz TV across the board. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hop in all of our chats. Hop onto the YouTube. We'll shout you out. I'm McCall Hall. You can find me on social media at McCall Hall of Fame. And you guys go around. Carla, where can they find you? Not on OnlyFans.
You can find me across all social media platforms. You got jokes, McCall. At The Curvy Critic. You can find me at AfterBuzz TV on Sundays at 6 o'clock doing the General Hospital after show. And right before that, over at BHL doing The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata.
Mia, where can they find you?
What's up, guys? You can find me on Twitter at Hot Mess Mia. It's a hot mess as always. On Instagram as yours truly, Mia. And then I'm also on the Killing Eve after show tonight. So check it out.
And I am Kenneth Ware. I'm also not on OnlyFans. But you can find me on all social media platforms at Kenneth Ware.
Well, you guys, once again, enjoy your week. If you happen to go on OnlyFans, I heard Safari and Casanova have a wonderful page. Only heard. But we'll see you guys next week for Insecure. Peace.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.